Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Ruben, and today, yes, I'm looking kind of nice. Got my hair done really nice up and gelled up and nice for y'all. Um, well, technically, it's not for y'all because I actually went out. So, yeah, you mad? But nah, I'm just messing with y'all. Listen, today I want to talk about something fairly serious. Well, no, it is a serious subject. I want to talk about prostitution. The reason I want to talk about prostitution is because I was watching the Tyra show last night, and on the Tyra show they had these girls who had been, you know, at a young age, pulled into the business. Some by choice because they were living hard lifestyles, and excuse me, they damn. All right. They were living harsh lifestyles where they couldn't take care of the kids. They couldn't. They weren't living the life that they wished to live. So they decided to, when I put that little bright, like scenery on, it always slows my video down so much. I can't deal with it. Look, my mouth was all moving off the ass and shit. Anyway, so not even pulled into the business, the adult industry, but um you can say because of the lifestyle they were living, they weren't satisfied with it, so they had to kind of go. If I get one more phone call when I make it a damn video, anyway, um so they weren't satisfied with the lives that they were leading or living, so um they were kind of forced into doing some things, doing some strange things, make a little piece of change, and they ended up in the adult industry. Um, Two girls who were actually porn stars, professional porn stars. And one of the girls, she was 19 years old, she was my age, and she was, I believe, since she was 18 years old, she had just turned 18 and she was in an abusive relationship. And there was this guy, I forgot his name, this guy who was in charge of a brothel, a legal brothel. For those who don't know what a brothel is, it's like a whorehouse, basically. What it is, it's a whorehouse. You go there, get your kicks, and then you leave, and the girls get paid for it. So it's like you got your pimp, who is the owner of the brothel house, and then you got the prostitutes, the hoes, and now what a lot of people don't realize is that these girls are your everyday average girls. Not all of them, but there are a small percentage of those girls, or at least half of the girls that are in these brothels and in these situations, want out so badly. A lot of them have children, one or more kids at home, and they probably didn't get a high school education or didn't graduate from high school. They didn't get a college education to where they would be qualified enough to get a good paying job. And so, these guys who are in charge of these brothels get these girls at their most vulnerable point and take them under their wing and tell them, oh, you're beautiful and you can make so much money doing this for me. And, they get them at this point where it's like, they're brainwashed basically. This 19-year-old girl that I was referring to, she had just gotten out of a abusive relationship where her boyfriend was whipping her ass on the regular, and he ran into her in the mall when she was 18 years old and got her at her most vulnerable point and told her she was pretty, told her she was beautiful, she don't have to deal with this, she can come with him and he'll give her a place to live, and all you gotta do is do this, that, and the third, and basically sell your body and your soul in order to make some change. You know what I'm saying? And to the point where she felt comfortable living that lifestyle because the money that she was making was benefiting her as it would for any 18-year-old girl or 19-year-old girl, or 19-year-old boy at that matter. You're making a certain amount of money a night, hundreds of dollars a night, doing something that at that age, a lot of us teenagers who, really don't know any better or might be in some bad situations. If we are sexually active, you know, you can use what you do in your everyday life, whether it be with your boyfriend or whether you're just, having promiscuous sex. You can make money doing it and be on your own without having the rules and regulations of having someone as head of household, just your pimp, who you think is like your best friend because they're the one who nurtured you and brought you up when you were down. But what they don't realize is these girls are being brainwashed. They think that this guy or these guys are their friends. They have nowhere else to go, no one to turn to, and then this guy comes with a handkerchief and an arm and a shoulder for them to lean on, and they brainwash them into believing that if you do all of these things, you can get all of this money and live this fabulous lifestyle. And the bad thing is a lot of these girls actually do end up living nice lifestyles. But when you're in that type of industry, especially in the porn adult entertainment industry, you tend to get all this money. You make your own schedule. You get to work whenever you want to, and you get all these hundreds of dollars. So right around the time when rent comes, you have all this money plus extra to use, and you're loving it. You know what I'm saying? You're living in penthouses, driving Cadillacs and Mercedes, and you're loving it. But what you don't, what we don't realize as people is, excuse me, is that these girls are so burnt and battered inside because these two girls were crying. There were two girls up there other than a 19-year-old, and these two girls were crying because they wanted out so bad. One of them had a child. One of them has been in the business since she was 18. She was then 24, I believe, when she came on the show, and she has been in the business since she was 18 years old, since she was legal. And she went on to talk about how she doesn't get to go to Six Flags and do all these things that a teenager would be doing, not a 25, 24-year-old woman. And Tyra had brought up, it sounds to me by you saying that there is still a little girl inside of you. There's still, you know, a child locked in to your soul that hasn't been able to express herself because she's been forced to be an adult before she was ready to become one. And that's exactly what it is. These little girls are forced, to become grown ass women when they're just at the peak of becoming a young lady. And, you know, the money starts to brainwash them and they think they're doing so well for themselves. And then what people don't realize, when you're doing that, you have to do a certain amount of, work to get a certain amount of money so that you can pay your rent and pay off all these expensive things that you're living a lifestyle of having. And you have to do these things because if you don't, and it's so hard to get out, you don't realize how hard it is for these girls to get out, and all they need is someone to lend a helping hand and someone to come and say, you know what, it's all right, come with me, I'm gonna help you. There's no one there for them to do that, and so they're alone with their kid if they have one, and they're thinking about the kid, thinking about themselves and how I live if I leave. Because as soon as they leave the business, they go right back to minimum wage and working 9 to 5s, and half of them, because they've been working since they were legal or barely legal, they don't know what a 9 to 5 is. So, I mean, I just want to talk about it because there's a lot of confusion about how these girls live their lives, and what y'all don't realize is that for maybe half of the women in the porn industry actually make it big, like Jenna Jameson. They make it to those big names. For the other girls, they don't make it. Maybe one or two out of three of those girls actually make it to do big things, and you know, y'all have to realize that for that percentage that doesn't make it, they're struggling, they're hurting. They've been doing this since they can even be legal. Okay, they half them weren't when they started. Half of them weren't even legal to drink, but they were spreading their legs on camera. And now they're stuck in a situation because they've become accustomed to doing this and doing things this way, but then they have no way out. And so I just want to know what y'all felt about that. If you watched the show, I'll probably leave a link if I can find the video so y'all can get a little bit more of what I was talking about. But how do you feel about it? Do you think that, do you believe what I believe about, a large number of prostitutes and people in the adult industry who've been in it since they were, just barely legal? Do you believe that they really want to get out? Do you believe, um, when I say that they're really hurting inside and that things aren't as easy as they seem? What's one person's pleasure is another person's pain for these girls. So let me know what you feel about that. Rate it and subscribe, and comment if you please, and I'll see y'all next time.